up, everyone? It's Kaiserin, and it's finally time for the TEC High School Valorant playoffs. Only 8 teams remain in each of our 2 divisions, so let's take a look at last week's games to see how our teams got here. Winbear had a triple header last week. They shut out West Green in their first match 13-0, meaning at 1-9 for the season, West Green just missed out on playoffs. Dylan led the game on Sova with 21 kills and only 2 deaths, giving him a KD of over 10. Their second game against Richland was much closer, but in the end, Winbear won again 13-8. This loss put Richland at 2-5 in 7th place for the season. Mr. Gary led the team on Jet with 6 first bloods, and at 31-12, finished the game with a KD over 2. Their last matchup had them take the victory against Boyertown 13-2. Also at 2-5, Boyertown ends in 8th place after round differential, just barely making it into the top 8 spot for playoffs. Once again, it was Mr. Gary who led the team, this time on Chamber. Ending with 21 kills and only 7 deaths, that put Mr. Gary at a 3 KD for this game. Those 3 wins put Winbear in 2nd place at 6-1 for the season. That wasn't Boyertown's only game this week. Boyertown lost to Penn Trafford 13-0. This win was an important one for seeding, putting Penn Trafford in 6th place at 3-4 for the season. QRTR and Sky had a phenomenal game, going 22-4 with 4 assists. That's a 5.5 KDA. And with a 49% headshot percentage from QRTR coming off of a 13-0 win, Penn Trafford might not be the team you want to face in the first round of playoffs. Bishop Guilfoyle versus Franklin Regional was a close game, going 13-11 in another extremely important matchup for seeding. Franklin Regional ended up on top, making them 5-2 for the season and leaving Bishop Guilfoyle 4-3, making this game the difference between that 3rd and 5th spot on the leaderboard. Pre-JKS on Clove for Bishop Guilfoyle ended the game going 34-20 with 7 assists, but it was Cresticle from Franklin Regional on Gecko who brought the game home for the team with 6 first bloods and 11 assists, going 23-18. Greater Altoona CTC beat Forest Hills last week 13-1, remaining undefeated at 7-0 for the season. At 5-2 in 4th place, Forest Hills will still be moving on to playoffs. Skip on Reyna for Forest Hills ended the game with 7 first bloods and went 30-18. But it was Bane on Reyna that went 22-20 with 9 assists that led CTC to victory. Richland High School beat Blacklick Valley 13-5, meaning Richland's still undefeated in 2nd place. That puts Blacklick in 7th at 3-3, meaning they'll still move on to playoffs. Anti-Glitch on Yoru pulled out some fun tech, leading Richland to victory with 21-10 and 7 assists. Greater Altoona CTC versus Albert Gallatin was another important game for seeding, but Greater Altoona came up on top 13-2, meaning they're 4-2 for the season in 3rd place, and Albert Gallatin is 5th with 3-3. It was Stauffer with 6 assists as Cypher going 22-5 who led the team to victory. Franklin Regional versus Greater Johnstown went 13-4, meaning Franklin Regional is still undefeated for the season in 1st place. Greater Johnstown, 4-3 for the season, are in 4th and will still be moving on to playoffs. Mitch on Reyna had 6 first bloods and went 30-7. Hollidaysburg shut out Chartiers Houston 13-0. That win puts Hollidaysburg at 6th place at 3-3. Chartiers Houston, unfortunately, at 1-5 for the season, are just missing out on playoffs. Ape ended the game with 6 first bloods, going 22-4 with 4 assists. Let's take a look at where those D1 teams fall on the playoff schedule. I have my eye on Forest Hills versus Bishop Guilfoyle. These 2 teams have been neck and neck in the standings all season. Whoever wins this one will play the winner of Greater Altoona versus Boyertown in the semifinals. Now let's take a look at the Division II playoff schedule. Franklin Regional are in their first season with TEC and ended up in 1st place overall with a dominant season. But I have my eye on Richland versus Blacklick, which is a rematch of last week's game. The winner of that will go on to play Greater Altoona versus Albert Gallatin. And now let's take a look at where you can find those Division 1 games. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week with that Division 2 schedule. Well, it's time for us to head into the first round of our playoff brackets. Congratulations to all the 16 teams that made it, and good luck today in your first round of that playoff run. Don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action. And of course, be sure to tune back into our Twitch channel for other playoff games that are coming up. Until next time, I'm Kaiser, and catch you all next week. What's up, everyone? It's Kaiser, and it's finally time for the TEC High School Valorant playoffs. Only 8 teams remain in each of our 2 divisions, so let's take a look at last week's games to see how our teams got here. Winber had a triple header last week. They shut out West Green in their first match 13-0, meaning at 1-9 for the season, West Green just missed out on playoffs. Dylan led the game on Sova with 21 kills and only 2 deaths, giving him a KD of over 10. Their second game against Richland was much closer, but in the end, Winber won again 13-8. This loss put Richland at 2-5 in 7th place for the season. Mr. Gary led the team on Jet with 6 first bloods, and at 31-12 finished the game with a KD over 2. Their last matchup had them take the victory against Boyertown 13-2. Also at 2-5, Boyertown ends in 8th place after round differential, just barely making it into the top 8 spot for playoffs. Once again, it was Mr. Gary who led the team, this time on Chamber. Ending with 21 kills and only 7 deaths, that put Mr. Gary at a 3 KD for this game. Those 3 wins put Winber in 2nd place at 6-1 for the season. That wasn't Boyertown's only game this week. Boyertown lost to Penn Trafford 13-0. This win was an important one for seeding, putting Penn Trafford in 6th place at 3-4 for the season. QRTR and Sky had a phenomenal game, going 22-4 with 4 assists. That's a 5.5 KDA. And with a 49% headshot percentage from QRTR coming off of a 13-0 win, Penn Trafford might not be the team you want to face in the first round of playoffs. Bishop Guilfoyle versus Franklin Regional was a close game, going 13-11 in another extremely important matchup for seeding. Franklin Regional ended up on top, making them 5-2 for the season and leaving Bishop Guilfoyle 4-3, making this game the difference between that 3rd and 5th spot on the leaderboard. Pre-JKS on Clove for Bishop Guilfoyle ended the game going 34-20 with 7 assists, but it was Cresticle from Franklin Regional on Gecko who brought the game home for the team with 6 first bloods and 11 assists, going 23-18. Greater Altoona CTC beat Forest Hills last week 13-1, remaining undefeated at 7-0 for the season. At 5-2 in 4th place, Forest Hills will still be moving on to playoffs. Skip on Reina for Forest Hills ended the game with 7 first bloods and went 30-18. But it was Bane on Reina that went 22-20 with 9 assists that led CTC to victory. Richland High School beat Blacklick Valley 13-5, meaning Richland's still undefeated in 2nd place. That puts Blacklick in 7th at 3-3, meaning they'll still move on to playoffs. Anti-Glitch on Yoru pulled out some fun tech, leading Richland to victory with 21-10 and 7 assists. Greater Altoona CTC versus Albert Gallatin was another important game for seeding, but Greater Altoona came up on top 13-2, meaning they're 4-2 for the season in 3rd place, and Albert Gallatin is 5th with 3-3. It was Stauffer with 6 assists as Cypher going 22-5 who led the team to victory. Franklin Regional versus Greater Johnstown went 13-4, meaning Franklin Regional is still undefeated for the season in 1st place. Greater Johnstown, 4-3 for the season, are in 4th and will still be moving on to playoffs. Mitch on Reina had 6 first bloods and went 30-7. Hollidaysburg shut out Chartiers Houston 13-0. That win puts Hollidaysburg at sixth place at 3-3. Chartiers Houston, unfortunately, at 1-5 for the season, are just missing out on playoffs. Ape ended the game with 6 first bloods, going 22-4 with 4 assists. Let's take a look at where those D1 teams fall on the playoff schedule. I have my eye on Forest Hills versus Bishop Guilfoyle. These two teams have been neck and neck in the standings all season. Whoever wins this one will play the winner of Greater Altoona versus Boyertown in the semifinals. Now let's take a look at the Division II playoff schedule. Franklin Regional are in their first season with TEC and ended up in first place overall with a dominant season. But I have my eye on Richland versus Blacklick, which is a rematch of last week's game. The winner of that will go on to play Greater Altoona versus Albert Gallatin. And now let's take a look at where you can find those Division I games. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week with that Division II schedule. Well, it's time for us to head into the first round of our playoff brackets. Congratulations to all the 16 teams that made it, and good luck today in your first round of that playoff run. Don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action. And of course, be sure to tune back into our Twitch channel for other playoff games that are coming up. Until next time, I'm Kaiser, and catch you all next week.
going on, everybody? Welcome back to the TEC High School Series here for our playoff action starting in week number 1. Elimination matches from here on out. High stakes and a chance to play at the LAN finals on the line in the next round. But you got to win this round here first. And of course, my name is Zama77. Joined with me in the cast booth here today, as always, is the one and only Hot Sauce, Mr. Hot. How we doing?
Doing great. Excited for these playoffs to start. Unfortunately, just going to start things off with the best of one in this first start of the bracket here as we get into week 1 of the playoffs. Of course, Bishop Guilfoyle, that lower seed. So they did have a ban there, but it looks like Forest Hills went with Ascent. And then Bishop Guilfoyle opted to start on the attacking side, which is actually kind of surprising to me as well. This tends to be a more defensive map. Typically, you want to get as many rounds as you can going into the other side of things. But that being said, we're going to take a quick look at these comps here as well. A kind of interesting comps coming out. I love the breach over there on the side of Bishop Guilfoyle.
I love the breach. Got a lot of different utility to use with that one. We're seeing Clove, who is activated here this week as well. So many utility pieces. You have a decay that can take your opponents down to 10 HP. You've got an ultimate that can bring you back to life. And even after you fall, you have those smokes you can use in the afterlife. So bringing so much to the kit. But actually, we've got a lot of different picks. The Cypher, the big one that I'm looking at.
Yeah, you know, and Forest Hills gets to start out on that defensive side as well. So KJ, Cypher, both incredible about, locking down these sites as well. Typically, we see that KJ on the B site, but I think it's certainly going to benefit them to start off on this defensive side as well. I like the comp that they've chosen to go with. Of course, as you mentioned, we see a lot of Clove right now. She's just a powerhouse with her versatility, and I truly feel like her decay needs to be nerfed a little bit.
Please, devs, if you're listening, we need a Clove nerf, and we need it now. Oh, either way, we'll have our time to rant about Clove, but we're heading into the pistol round. I think this one's going to be exciting, like we said. It's only a best of 1. This is playoffs, and it is an elimination matchup. Both these two teams, 4 seed, 5 seed. This matchup could not be closer.
Yeah, Forest Hills 5-2 on the regular season. Bishop Guilfoyle 4-3, and one of only 2 teams that didn't actually get to meet face-to-face in that regular season. Right now, a nice split, though, trying to make a little attention over here at B. And Hugo, his first game, I believe, with Bishop Guilfoyle, at least that we've seen on stream, and starting it off nicely with a big pick.
Love to see that. Drafting for this offensive-sided composition, picking up the Phoenix. Hugo is going to have to do a lot. Corridor is going to have to do a lot themselves, though, as the plant is going down. 4v4 as Quell takes one down with the headshot, and the plant is there, and a couple of really early picks coming through from Bishop Guilfoyle. If they can keep this control, isolate the duels into a couple 2v1s, this round should be winnable.
Yeah, Hugo really popping off, makes for the 3K here as well. And we saw Bishop Guilfoyle playing lights out at the beginning of their season. A team really looking like they could beat or at least contend with Greater Altoona. Unfortunately, they had some roster changes and some tough things throughout the regular season. Strike Force, though, coming in with a nice 2-piece. Unfortunately, that had those mixes in there, and Strike won't even let me finish my sentence. Absolutely popping off the 4K, the Quadra, but time is ticking away, and I don't think there's enough here.
Don't think there is. 2.34 seconds, just a little bit too late. Gets the picks. Nobody lives at the end of the first round. What an exciting one. I mean, as you talked about, both these teams, I mean, you look at the records. 5-2 for Forest Hills, 4-3 for Bishop Guilfoyle, who had a really, really tough schedule. This is such a good matchup already, but I love to see that first round for Bishop Guilfoyle. We were wondering, how many rounds can they get in this offensive side? They're already showing their prowess.
Yeah, I mean, they started off, I think, 4-0 on the season until they had these, roster changes that I was kind of mentioning before Strike Force wouldn't let me finish for that beautiful 4K. And, a really great round from Strike. But fortunately for Bishop, they do clutch up that dub. They look to buy into this round. And, on paper, at least, they should be able to take it.
Got the better weaponry. I'll have to deal with Strike Force, though, who's on that free full meat gun. Unfortunately, does wait the patience just a little bit too long. The headshot comes in from Quell as they flood in through market. This is actually a really good position. They've left Clove behind. They've left free JKS there to pick up the pieces on the backside. And Paste able to get it done with the SMG. So 5v1, Skiff is going to be able to at least play the cheeky corner here. And It's the Reyna, so it does have that reset ability, but pre-JKS, again, that lurk ability gets a 3K, and it's a double up for Bishop Guilfoyle.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they needed to do, especially against this talented Forest Hills team. So come out, start out great early here too, and really they only lost one member in that previous round as well. So almost a flawless round, allowing that economy to kind of stable out, be in good, positioning, hope to add those stacks to the bank, so to speak. But full rifles coming out here now for Forest Hills. The bonus, is going to favor them this bonus round. So again, on paper, they have the better rifles, but it's these important rounds that you have to make sure you're able to capitalize on.
You really need to win this one if you're Forest Hills, because we saw there, I mean, literally no extra money other than that Sheriff invested here for Bishop Guilfoyle. So if they break your economy here, if they're able to steal all those rifles off your body, it's not what you want to see. Bacon Lover just tossing out some flashes here or there, thinking about going for the swing. 2 players waiting with those SMGs, and this is where Hugo comes in clutch. The flash does connect, but it's Bacon Lover with the redirect. Quell fighting on the other side of pre-JKS with the long-range spray, making this one into a 2v3 and getting a plant down would be kind of best-case scenario, but Nexka in a 1v3 is that Reyna, has that ability to reset on through, but the door is opening, the flood is coming on in from that defense. Time is of the essence, and Nexka proven they can get it done, but Skip cuts down at the end of the round.
Yeah, unfortunately, Nexka really needed to just stay behind the generator there. They saw, Skip come out already, so knew they were on site. Trying to pressure into the smoke, it's a good idea. Maybe feeling caught out in the open, but a nice, easy spray through the smoke from Skip will capitalize, and they almost lost a round that they should have dominated on. So still, it's not a bad round for Bishop Guilfoyle. They take out 4 members and begin to put a damper on that economy. You'll see 3 Bulldogs here for Forest Hills.
What we were saying, you got 4 for investing pretty much not another single penny other than that Sheriff. It's a win in my book for sure. Bishop Guilfoyle. This next round, though, round number 4 is a key one for them. We got some ultimates on board. We got first point of contact through that B-main area, but it is Hardor who is under the pressure early, taken down to 29 HP. The one way, not going to find any value. Bacon Lover on this side angle, had to go massive, gets a double. The spike carrier is going to be taken down, so it looks like the plant is possibly free, but Strike Force with this pressure in mid, able to catch one out in the rotates.
Yeah, Strike Force, especially in these last 3 or 4 weeks, has been a huge staple here for Forest Hills. A great addition to what Skip does here as well. But Nexka taking out the Juggernaut, able to dissipate into hell here as well. Looking to hold tree. Good crosshair placement. Able to find Strike Force as well. They know he's up top, and free JKS with a triple kill to finish off round 4.
It's been the battle of the cloves, man. Back and forth, both of them getting their tests. And I gotta say, both of them with the ultimate up and available. I actually kind of like that from Forest Hills. Don't pop that clove ultimate, save it for another round. Because it was already a 2v1, you already did kind of had that spike going down and ticking up. And now it is gonna put them in an eco. So a little bit awkward position here for the defensive side. And maybe, the offensive side choosing from Bishop Guilfoyle paying off already.
Yeah, we talk about that risk-reward type situation. If they can come out big here, it could be absolutely huge for Bishop Guilfoyle to upset Forest Hills in this first round, only being a best of 1. They could really devastate Forest Hills here. Hugo on the run it back. No real value just yet. Did get a little intel. Robotics tucked in stairs here, suppressed and waiting. The alarm bot triggered. Skip able to find one. Quell, Hugo, Skip, and now all trades, but Freak with the ult will get back on the feet. Quell able to find Robotics. The pincer play as they come in. And Nexka finds Skip as well. Now back to a 4v1 strike, tucked in market, and I think nothing but a short.
Yeah, but if they do push this, it is going to be pre-JKS, that ultimate expiring because they didn't get a kill or an assist. The Nexka is able to pick up the headshot right at the end of it to take the round. I will say for Bishop Guilfoyle, it's another round win. You got yourself up to 4. However, Hot Sauce, they used a ton of ultimates there. They used both the not dead yet and the run it back to try and get onto that site. Sure, they didn't lose that many members, only 2 dropping at the end of it, but that's still some damage done from the other side of the field.
Yeah, you still have Paste and you have Quell, who's only 1 away. So, yeah, they did have to use 2 ults, but I think, I kind of like it there, honestly. Just make sure you secure the round. You're up 4-1 on the attacking side of Ascent, where Forest Hills has often dominated Skip specifically. So, I think they're looking... Oh! by Bacon. Lover able to find the first one. Could be trapped in the corner. Has a lot of utility to help him escape, but opts to stay here. Plenty of blinds on deck, but 3 on the other side, waiting patiently, doing a good job of not pressing too far forward and getting caught off guard by these flashes here. Meanwhile, Skip able to find one through mid as well, and that big flank is coming in. Baker able to find one through the swarm grenade.
I mean, Bacon's position absolutely massive so far in this round. Can they finish it out? The answer is probably going to be yes. 5v1, Quell only limited HP to work with, and a triple from Bacon. That's positioning specifically in the wine cellar, just holding down flash after flash, even eating the clove metal, taking them down to 59 HP. They don't care. Just continually popping those flashes, giving the rest of the team that opportunity to flank and collapse.
Yeah, Breach is just one of the hardest agents to push because he's so dangerous with how many flashes he has as well. The concuss can be there, so it's hard to push down a long hallway, even if you have numbers, because that flash can really kind of make that push obsolete. So you have to be very methodical about how you make that approach, and maybe they feel that pressure a bit because it does look like they're swinging back toward the B site, but Skip finds not only 1, but 2. Will be able to dissipate away here now in a 3v5. The player advantage, Paste with a trade through the wall.
Trade will feel at least a little bit good. It is going to be Paste drop down to that down but not out scenario. The res is going to be tried, but not fully gotten back up. Free JKS stuck between a couple of players. 2 drop from Forest Hills, but a couple of quick rounds where they have made very fast, snappy decisions. And I gotta say, I was wondering, Hot Sauce, we've been hearing rumors. We've been hearing of the mythical Skip. When was he gonna pop off? Well, I think we just got our answer.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a slow start, but Skip's certainly finding the stride here in round 7 as we head into round 8. Look to keep that momentum going right now. A lot of the pressure heading toward the A site. We've seen Hugo have some success against Skip over here on this B site, kind of creating a presence over there, maybe drawing over an early rotation or finding an early pick. We'll see if Hugo can do it again here.
Good thing get done. Lots of ultimates available as Skip is going crazy again, just winning the duels every single time. The flash is huge again. Seeing the information, even if you don't get a pick, you just recognize there are players there. We can take space on the other side of the map. Talking about space, it is going to be absolutely denied. Bacon Lever going to take some shots in towards the door frame here, but has to escape out. It is that lockdown coming in from the other side. So space on the A side is there, but is it actually? Cardor still up here on the high ground. Double kill for them. And you look at the HP bars, they are drained on the other side of the field. It's got to be a 4v2. The opposing lockdown coming in. We don't get the double bubble, but it's got to be pre-JKS. Probably more than a double kill for them. Sheriff is just not enough.
Yeah, Skip's been getting very aggressive over on that B side, and if they find that pick on Hugo, Bishop Guilfoyle needs to realize that. Maybe the comms didn't come in, but Skip has pushed out through mid and through B in the last 2 to 3 rounds every time, finding that big flank coming in as well. So they have to have someone aware of that. They could potentially play a little bit of default, make some noise at A, and see if they can bite Skip out to find that early pick. However, it does look like they're opting to 5-man that direction. A bit of a scrappy buy here as well. So I do like a 5-man push when you're kind of on those scrappier eco rounds.
Like sticking together, there's always that chance to, back up off your teammate, get a pick. Not necessarily bait them. We're not trying to say bait your teammates here, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do for the greater good of the round. Either way, 3 ultimates still here on the Forest Hills defensive side, especially Strike Force just going for the headshot immediately. How about a double? Again, they can play aggressive as the Clove because they have that ultimate to bring them back to life. That is going to be spiked down, so even on this eco, Quell will be able to hit the shots with the Sheriff, but it's just Hugo stuck here in Maine.
Yeah, Hugo in Maine trying to make their way out with the Sheriff will be chopped down by Skip. And I don't know if it's because I've been playing with Strike Force throughout this regular season. I've had a lot of chance to play with them, but I'm feeling like some proud dad moments over here. Strike has just really come along. Another huge play there again from Strike Force. See, 8-4 with 6 assists. Of course, Skip up on top, 11 and 5. 3 ults on deck here for Forest Hills. Just 1 on the other side of thing here for Bishop Guilfoyle.
Basically what you're saying, you take credit for all of Strike Force's success. You've been training him up. But,
just proud, he trains me.
Yeah, okay. Train each other. Got to keep on learning. Everybody does. And Right now, 5-4, a lot of things to learn from this half for both sides. Really good tripwires here on this A site. For the defense, it's going to make it hard for that push to come in on through. The smoke is really nice as well, denying the one-way cage from getting really any sort of value. The Rain of Blind's coming in, but it's that crossfire. Bacon Lover, Corridor, we've seen it, and going aggressive, blinded everybody, but unfortunately, he's just walking into a slaughterhouse. Pre-JKS the headshot as well. The spike is down is the unfortunate thing. They're going to have to walk forward and probably commit towards this A site the one-way. Getting so much value as the not dead yet is popped.
Yeah, Corridor just really popping off, tucked into the corner here. And again, not overextending because he has those traps up, right? So use them to the advantage. This time we see Strike Force coming from behind, finding a two-piece as well. And unfortunately, Bishop Guilfoyle is really just not watching that flank. And I think it's something that Forest Hills has kind of recognized. So they continue to kind of do it until it doesn't work anymore, right?
100%. 100%. And I got to say, for Forest Hills, again, it's just the recognition that, like, as soon as they realize, okay, you've got 5 or 4 stacked up together, we'll just play the flank. We can take so much space in other parts of the map. We can get that flank from behind. And once we get that, we've got the round in our hands. 6-4 so far for this half. And got to give credit Forest Hills for battling back after that early string of rounds. Now Skip has got that operator. High ground is where it is going to lie here. And some extra knife going to go on through. It's going to be the run it back denied immediately here from Hugo. Sent back to their original body. Maybe a rotation is in the thoughts and minds right now, the Bishop Guilfoyle players, not wanting to really battle into this operator.
Yeah, I mean, they've had trouble with these trips on the site the whole time anyway, so I think it's a smart decision. I like this slow, methodical play as well. They could potentially catch Strike or someone off guard here, because we've seen that flank numerous times, but this time it's Bacon Lover in the spawn, finding the triple kill. Quell will finally extinguish the flame. But Robotics does get the trade, a bit of back and forth. The player advantage still greatly favoring Forest Hills at the moment. Hugo in the corner finds Corridor as well. A nice pick. Unfortunately, it's still a tough position to be in. We see Robotics holding that rotation as well. Will clutch up with the Phantom. 7-4. What is that? 5 rounds, 6 rounds in a row now for Forest Hills.
The 6 in a row. You talk about the battle back there, and I really love to see that timeline as well, because it's not even the plant getting down, right? They're shutting these rounds down before Bishop Guilfoyle can get onto the site, can take some space. And you look at the ultimates as well. I mean, for Forest Hills, they've been using them one at a time to get so much pressure on the other side of the field. Now with this 7-4, they have a chance to take the 8th round of the half. Only the Empress up and available for Bishop Guilfoyle. The Robotics Master is sitting here waiting to shut it down early.
Yeah, I mean, it was 4-1 at one point, so a huge run here for Forest Hills, and they've done a great job at locking down these sites. Certainly their comp a little more suitable for defense as well. Hugo with the wall, looking to pressure in again. 2 trips, the camera. Bacon lurking in tree, making it that much tougher. Rainer up top with the op, but look at this, the early rotation coming in from Forest Hills. The pick is there, but it's a wide open site, and with that, they should be able to pressure on. The KJ inactive temporarily, so again, it's tough to lose a member, but it's a great play here from Bishop Guilfoyle.
Love the misdirection play here. It's just how they play this post plan. Some good ultimates available on the other side. The blind goes massive. Bacon Lover trades 2 for themselves. And now a 4v2. The flood of the site for JKS. Takes down the operator, but the overheal is going to be there. It won't be the revive. It won't be enough. And it'll be Forest Hills taking 8 at the start of this half.
Yeah, 8-4, and that was off of a 7-round run as well. So Forest Hills, again, maybe a bit of a tough start, but certainly have found their stride. We know that the map is a little more defensive oriented. Certainly their comp is a little bit more defensive oriented. So at a minimum, Bishop Guilfoyle was able to take 4 rounds away. If they can find a way to win this pistol round, you know, most likely they'll cut that lead down to 8-6 with that following one, and they'll be right back in it.
This is where it gets exciting. Like you said, both team compositions really drafted for that original side they started on. So I want to see, again, how Bishop Guilfoyle works with these offensive tools. I assume Hugo needs to get a little bit aggressive. Again, playing Phoenix on defense, you have to be really flashing out, taking space. And with that run it back, as soon as you get it, you need to be popping it. Let's get going though. Second half here of our best of one between the 4 and 5 seed here in our Division 1 Valorant playoffs. Winner again moves on to the semifinals, one matchup away from securing their spot in the Grand Championships on May 19th. We've got some early pressure out towards Catwalk here, and Hugo does have that flash available, but Skip actually takes the headshot before anything can happen. The crossfire from Paste takes one, but Skip again on a double. Skip on a triple, the flood into the site, and they've got pressure. They've possibly got the round in their hands.
Yeah, and in the past, we've seen Skip on Sage a lot, but I've always felt that Skip was a much better fragger. So finding that duelist position, becoming Reyna for the majority of this season as well, has really been huge for Forest Hills. Quell up top, though, finally able to get Skip. Still a 2v1, though, a tough position. We can hear the time ticking away. Pops the turret for a little bit of intel. Will break the glass, but not a lot of time here as well. Has one in hell. The crossfire is there. The smoke in place. So Quell potentially has an opportunity. This spray comes in and Corridor will fall. Quick tap in from the Classic. Still has to get through these swarm grenades. Potentially could look to pressure. Time ticking away. And unfortunately, they're going to have to look to get it halfway. Shots come in. A good bait as well. And now they have to stick it. No time on the clock. And a good delay here by Robotics.
It's huge. I mean, a dangerous end to the round as Bishop Guilfoyle pick up some picks all across it. They'll take the pistol. You talked about a possible 8-6. Well, now we're possibly looking at a 10-4. It could be such a big lead, especially on this attacking side. Sent so defensive favored. If Bishop Guilfoyle can at least pick up a few picks here or there, destroy the economy by just a little bit, would start to feel good. But this is where Forest Hills start to bring their mojo in.
Yeah, they're starting to kind of assert their dominance here. They have the weapons as well, so they just need to play together and play smart here. Most of that attention from Bishop Guilfoyle over on the A side, and from mid with the Spectre. Skip absolutely going off the 2K. Maybe not done just yet, pressuring through mid. KJ all alone on the B site. Space has been taken. Bacon with a Bulldog finds one more. We see that rotation coming in the flank from pre through mid, but Skip holding that patience as well. The tap comes in. Skip Strike Force will clean it up. Another flawless round from Forest Hills as they look to clutch up here in week 1 of playoffs.
Double digits for them. A clutch up on the horizon. However, they do have a hard half in front of them, and it starts right here. Again, if you're Forest Hills and you can win this round specifically, it could be series over. You could break the economy right when it is starting to get built up. Bishop Guilfoyle just winning some of those duels. You saw it. They were doing some damage in that previous round because they just had, the pistols, and it was, the Reyna that they were giving those picks to. The overheal was there, the regeneration back to full. And now we'll get to see Forest Hills playing this round at the start very, very default and slow.
Yeah, just again, they know that they don't have the weapon advantage here. So just wanting to play together, look to find these trades. And I've always felt the team should play a little slower on this map. We saw kind of Bishop Guilfoyle wanting to run into sight, but there's so much utility at the beginning of the map, and we're going to see Forest Hills utilize that here. Free Paste Skip with a trade, but Paste with 2 big picks here as well. And again, it's just a little tougher to pressure all of these sites. Next kill will find Skip, and now it's all down to Clove, tucked in here near Wine. Has the utility. The decay comes in, hits 2 as well, but with that smoke kind of keeping them at bay and the spike down, just a really, really tough position for Strike here.
Up position, and unfortunately won't be able to find a pick at the end of it. Next got a headshot to end off the round. And it's like we said, a round for Bishop Guilfoyle. They should have won. They had some really good weaponry, but I love how they were just playing together. Again, especially on that A site, playing their longer angles, realizing their weaponry advantage. Now they'll get themselves into another big round. From here on out, for Bishop Guilfoyle, you need to start to string some rounds together, and you cannot be giving some big ultimates over. We see actually for Forest Hills, they have that Empress already up because of how good Skip was in these first couple rounds. If you give over, especially that Clovolt, it could be dangerous in these later rounds.
Yeah, Bishop Guilfoyle really needs to win this round as well. They need to begin to build that economy for when, Forest Hills is able to take one away from them. But as always, easier said than done. The turret ringing out here at B main. Well, tucked into the stairs, but with that utility coming in, a lot of noise has been made. It's really kind of brought that rotation over early. And if you look on that mini map, they've already made their way onto the A site. The plant will go down with ease. Nexka, though, a triple kill lurking here at mid. A big play to help hopefully turn things around. Now on a 2v4, or 2v5, excuse me.
2v5. Empress built up as well. Pre-JK could be the first to possibly provide contact on towards this site, just clearing everything. Cardar, SMG from the backside, we're going to take one down. The timing is everything. Sees the rifle, and just so many different angles to check. Pre-JK with the headshot. Will remove that dart here. Still one more to take on down, but the defuse is already done. So Cardar will see if you can find anything else here at the end of the round. But again, really good from Bishop Guilfoyle. They will take the final kill as Quell gets that one with the headshot. But again, like you talked about, the rotation was perfect. The plant was nice, but man, Nexka with that triple just shut down the whole round.
Yeah, it was a huge lurk by Nexka there at mid, because they certainly had the advantage there on A site, but able to find that triple and kind of nullify things. And we talked about how Bishop Guilfoyle really needed to win that round, and honestly, they need to get one or two more before they give up one, build that economy up, kind of work their way slowly back into this game, one round at a time. But right now, all of the action seems to be headed toward the B site.
Lots going into B main. Neural Thievery been available as well for Still Squad. Knife is going to catch all 5, by the way, so no abilities for you guys. Flash on through here from Poste. We'll see some extra information. And Quell is here too. Skip just trying to break their way on in, but this trade is going to be huge because Skip is now on a double. Skip as well, we talked about before. That Empress built up and available, but guess who else has an Empress? It's on the other side. 2v2 and swinging on you. You go. 20 HP. Don't care. Neural Theft will reveal some information. Now it's all down to a 1v1. Strike Force still with the ultimate. And now Mike in the hands could just make a rotate to the A site.
Yeah, it's definitely a wise decision here as well. And Hugo, not a lot of health, did heal up a little bit, still has the wall potentially if they would like to heal up the rest of the way and really kind of make things even. Strike Force still has the ult as well over there, and that plant will go down with ease. We'll see that rotation coming in from Hugo, but there's so much time here for Strike Force to get into a cheeky position and really kind of cut off this rotation.
It's just a 1v1. Have to expect every single angle, and the timing is going to be huge here. Hugo, do you check it? No. Strike Force, the triple, the ultimate already built on up, and such a back and forth round. So many opportunities for both teams to close it out, but it is Forest Hills one away from guaranteeing themselves that overtime.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. Hugo also jumped there right before the end and then kind of gave himself away. Poste had a nice initial flash at the B site that got 3 different members. Unfortunately, stepped out early and flashed himself, and then when went out for that second time was taken down. So just a few minor mistakes, unfortunately, that kind of led them to losing that round. But right now, a little bit of a split here, 3-1-1 coming out from Forest Hills, and they do so well at executing on these sites together with the use of their utility. Kind of leading the charge here is Bacon on that breach. Quell has been spotted on the B site as well. 2 lingering at the top of the cat, and maybe a bit of an early rotation coming in from BG.
Looks like a possible B collapse at the backside of it, but the tripwire is not going to really get anything. Quell only had a sheriff to try and battle back, so B site control is here. 2 players available on the other side, and Skip not going to catch the timing. Nexka able to take that trade, and that's huge because that's a double. You talk about giving Reyna picks. The healing is going to be there along with the overheal. 150 effective HP to work with. In the 2v2, they have to remember the not dead yet available on the other side. The swing again. Nexka through the wall. Doesn't get their triple, but the trade is here. We've got double Clove ultimates. 1v1 in the boathouse, where we're going to go swimming here. At the end of it, Strike Force just cleans it up again. The clutch factor on this guy is crazy.
Match point.
Yeah, and just great situational awareness, not making noise. We can kind of hear the pressure from Pre jumping down onto site, but if you're going to go through that smoke, it's hard to do it while making noise. Strike sat in a good position, sprayed through the smoke, found the pick, and put Forest Hills lead by double and at match point here. So Forest Hills looking to close it out. Week 1 of playoffs, they could advance. It's going to be tough, though. Whoever advances here is most likely going to go on and play Greater Altoona.
Yeah, that #1 seed going to be playing in their playoff matchup here today. We'll have to update you guys on how the results are going, but for right now, 4 ultimates up and available. The run it back was spent to get so much pressure out towards the B site. You have to know if you are Bishop Guilfoyle that it is coming towards A. The pressure is there, and Paste is taken down. The ultimate will die in the pockets with them. You have the lockdown. You have the ability to force them out of the site, but the catch on the backside, the headshot from Strike Force, and the denial of this high ground control is absolutely massive. The players of Forest Hills, though, they have to evacuate the site or they're going to get detained here, but the lockdown gets destroyed. The aggressive nature coming through, the resurrection from Forest Hills, and they did it. They've done it, and they're moving on to the next round of playoffs.
Yeah, after being down 4-1, they cap it off 13-6 with a huge dub. And again, even though Skip was absolutely popping off, we saw a lot of great moments from Bacon Lover, the whole crew really, but for me, Strike was the big game maker here today. We saw so many clutches from Strike, 17 and 8 on top of 11 assists. But again, Forest Hills looking like a tough team here. And again, I love to see how well they've improved throughout the regular season, now putting it to work here in the postseason as well.
The one thing, whenever you say Forest Hills hot sauce, it's a name from TEC that we know that has multiple championships under their belt. So no surprise that they are taking this first win here in the quarterfinal bracket. Of course, they've got to win one more. Like you said, it's probably going to be a tough road, but we've seen them clutch up before against tougher teams. Of course, for Bishop Guilfoyle, it doesn't mean we have to say goodbye to them, but what a season they put forward. Again, as one of these newer squads to be able to come in, step up, and bring so many rounds against the storied Forest Hills squad, you have to give them so much credit.
Yeah, again, they had a great start to the season. Unfortunately, some tough roster changes that kind of haunted them near the end of the season, but an incredibly talented team, and I look forward to seeing them come back next season even stronger. You know, it was one of those teams, like I said, I was kind of looking forward to see them take on Greater Altoona, but sometimes things happen throughout the regular season. Again, hats off to them and congratulations on a phenomenal regular season as well. Forest Hills will be advancing, and we should know pretty soon whether they'll be taking on Greater Altoona, I think, as well, Llama.
Yeah, we'll update you guys on how the rest of the streams are going. Make sure you're following all the streams as well. If you aren't followed here, hit those notification buttons. We go live every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for all of our action. And I believe we've got some extra regular season matchups coming this week for that Overwatch and the High School Rocket League. So make sure you're hitting that follow button. We got lots of exciting action building up towards the playoffs. But Hot Sauce, we've got another series to get to.
Yeah, we're going to drop down to D2. 2 more teams that are incredibly evenly matched. Greater Johnstown 4-3 on the regular season. Hollidaysburg 3-3. So this next one also going to be a banger of a match. But with that being said, guys, we do need to take a few moments to get everybody loaded into the lobby. Great time for you to grab those drinks, those snacks, but don't go too far. When we come back, we got more TEC action.
What's up, everyone? It's Kaizen, and it's finally time for the TEC High School Valorant Playoffs. Only 8 teams remain in each of our 2 divisions, so let's take a look at last week's games to see how our teams got here. Winbear had a triple header last week. They shut out West Green in their first match 13-0, meaning at 1-9 for the season, West Green just missed out on playoffs. Dylan led the game on Sova with 21 kills and only 2 deaths, giving him a KD of over 10. Their second game against Richland was much closer, but in the end, Winbear won again 13-8. This loss put Richland at 2-5 in 7th place for the season. Mr. Gary led the team on Jet with 6 first bloods, and at 31-12, finished the game with a KD over 2. Their last matchup had them take the victory against Boyertown 13-2. Also at 2-5, Boyertown ends in 8th place after round differential, just barely making it into the top 8 spot for playoffs. Once again, it was Mr. Gary who led the team, this time on Chamber. Ending with 21 kills and only 7 deaths, that put Mr. Gary at a 3 KD for this game. Those 3 wins put Winbear in 2nd place at 6-1 for the season. That wasn't Boyertown's only game this week. Boyertown lost to Penn Trafford 13-0. This win was an important one for seeding, putting Penn Trafford in 6th place at 3-4 for the season. QRTR and Sky had a phenomenal game, going 22-4 with 4 assists. That's a 5.5 KDA. And with a 49% headshot percentage from QRTR coming off of a 13-0 win, Penn Trafford might not be the team you want to face in the first round of playoffs. Bishop Guilfoyle versus Franklin Regional was a close game, going 13-11 in another extremely important matchup for seeding. Franklin Regional ended up on top, making them 5-2 for the season and leaving Bishop Guilfoyle 4-3, making this game the difference between that 3rd and 5th spot on the leaderboard. Pre-JKS on Clove for Bishop Guilfoyle ended the game going 34-20 with 7 assists, but it was Cresticle from Franklin Regional on Gecko who brought the game home for the team with 6 first bloods and 11 assists, going 23-18. Greater Altoona CTC beat Forest Hills last week 13-1, remaining undefeated at 7-0 for the season. At 5-2 in 4th place, Forest Hills will still be moving on to playoffs. Skip on Reyna for Forest Hills ended the game with 7 first bloods and went 30-18. But it was Bane on Reyna that went 22-20 with 9 assists that led CTC to victory. Richland High School beat Blacklick Valley 13-5, meaning Richland's still undefeated in 2nd place. That puts Blacklick in 7th at 3-3, meaning they'll still move on to playoffs. Anti-Glitch on Yoru pulled out some fun tech, leading Richland to victory with 21-10 and 7 assists. Greater Altoona CTC versus Albert Gallatin was another important game for seeding, but Greater Altoona came up on top 13-2, meaning they're 4-2 for the season in 3rd place, and Albert Gallatin is 5th with 3-3. It was Stauffer with 6 assists as Cypher going 22-5 who led the team to victory. Franklin Regional versus Greater Johnstown went 13-4, meaning Franklin Regional is still undefeated for the season in 1st place. Greater Johnstown, 4-3 for the season, are in 4th and will still be moving on to playoffs. Mitch on Reyna had 6 first bloods and went 30-7. Hollidaysburg shut out Chartiers Houston 13-0. That win puts Hollidaysburg at 6th place at 3-3. Chartiers Houston, unfortunately, at 1-5 for the season, are just missing out on playoffs. Ape ended the game with 6 first bloods, going 22-4 with 4 assists. Let's take a look at where those D1 teams fall on the playoff schedule. I have my eye on Forest Hills versus Bishop Guilfoyle. These two teams have been neck and neck in the standings all season. Whoever wins this one will play the winner of Greater Altoona versus Boyertown in the semifinals. Now let's take a look at the Division II playoff schedule. Franklin Regional are in their first season with TEC and ended up in 1st place overall with a dominant season. But I have my eye on Richland versus Blacklick, which is a rematch of last week's game. The winner of that will go on to play Greater Altoona versus Albert Gallatin. And now let's take a look at where you can find those Division I games. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week with that Division II schedule. Well, it's time for us to head into the first round of our playoff brackets. Congratulations to all the 16 teams that made it, and good luck today in your first round of that playoff run. Don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action, and of course, be sure to tune back into our Twitch channel for other playoff games that are coming up. Until next time, I'm Kaiser, and catch you all next week. What's up, everyone? It's Kaiser, and it's finally time for the TEC High School Valorant Playoffs. Only 8 teams remain in each of our 2 divisions, so let's take a look at last week's games to see how our teams got here. Winbear had a triple header last week. They shut out West Green in their first match 13-0, meaning at 1-9 for the season, West Green just missed out on playoffs. Dylan led the game on Sova with 21 kills and only 2 deaths, giving him a KD of over 10. Their second game against Richland was much closer, but in the end, Winbear won again 13-8. This loss put Richland at 2-5 in 7th place for the season. Mr. Gary led the team on Jet with 6 first bloods and at 31-12 finished the game with a KD over 2. Their last matchup had them take the victory against Boyertown 13-2. Also at 2-5, Boyertown ends in 8th place after round differential, just barely making it into the top 8 spot for playoffs. Once again, it was Mr. Gary who led the team, this time on Chamber. Ending with 21 kills and only 7 deaths, that put Mr. Gary at a 3 KD for this game. Those 3 wins put Winburn in 2nd place at 6-1 for the season. That wasn't Boyertown's only game this week. Boyertown lost to Penn Trafford 13-0. This win was an important one for seeding, putting Penn Trafford in 6th place at 3-4 for the season. QRTR and Sky had a phenomenal game, going 22-4 with 4 assists. That's a 5.5 KDA. And with a 49% headshot percentage from QRTR coming off of a 13-0 win, Penn Trafford might not be the team you want to face in the first round of playoffs. Bishop Guilfoyle versus Franklin Regional was a close game, going 13-11 in another extremely important matchup for seeding. Franklin Regional ended up on top, making them 5-2 for the season and leaving Bishop Guilfoyle 4-3, making this game the difference between that 3rd and 5th spot on the leaderboard. Pre-JKS on Clove for Bishop Guilfoyle ended the game going 34-20 with 7 assists, but it was Cresticle from Franklin Regional on Gecko who brought the game home for the team with 6 first bloods and 11 assists, going 23-18. Greater Altoona CTC beat Forest Hills last week 13-1, remaining undefeated at 7-0 for the season. At 5-2 in 4th place, Forest Hills will still be moving on to playoffs. Skip on Reyna for Forest Hills ended the game with 7 first bloods and went 30-18. But it was Bane on Reyna that went 22-20 with 9 assists that led CTC to victory. Richland High School beat Blacklick Valley 13-5, meaning Richland's still undefeated in 2nd place. That puts Blacklick in 7th at 3-3, meaning they'll still move on to playoffs. Anti-Glitch on Yoru pulled out some fun tech, leading Richland to victory with 21-10 and 7 assists. Greater Altoona CTC versus Albert Gallatin was another important game for seeding, but Greater Altoona came up on top 13-2, meaning they're 4-2 for the season in 3rd place, and Albert Gallatin is 5th with 3-3. It was Stauffer with 6 assists as Cypher going 22-5 who led the team to victory. Franklin Regional versus Greater Johnstown went 13-4, meaning Franklin Regional is still undefeated for the season in 1st place. Greater Johnstown 4-3 for the season are in 4th and will still be moving on to playoffs. Mitch on Reyna had 6 first bloods and went 30-7. Hollidaysburg shut out Chartiers Houston 13-0. That win puts Hollidaysburg at 6th place at 3-3. Chartiers Houston, unfortunately, at 1-5 for the season, are just missing out on playoffs. Ape ended the game with 6 first bloods, going 22-4 with 4 assists. Let's take a look at where those D1 teams fall on the playoff schedule. I have my eye on Forest Hills versus Bishop Guilfoyle. These 2 teams have been neck and neck in the standings all season. Whoever wins this one will play the winner of Greater Altoona versus Boyertown in the semifinals. Now let's take a look at the Division II playoff schedule. Franklin Regional are in their first season with TEC and ended up in 1st place overall with a dominant season. But I have my eye on Richland versus Blacklick, which is a rematch of last week's game. The winner of that will go on to play Greater Altoona versus Albert Gallatin. And now let's take a look at where you can find those Division I games. Let's take a look at where you can catch the action this week with that Division II schedule. Well, it's time for us to head into the first round of our playoff brackets. Congratulations to all the 16 teams that made it, and good luck today in your first round of that playoff run. Don't forget to check out all of our social media for more TEC action, and of course, be sure to tune back into our Twitch channel for other playoff games that are coming up. Until next time, I'm Kaiser and catch you all next week. What's up, everyone? It's Kaiser, and it's finally time for the TEC High School Valorant playoffs. Only 8 teams remain in each of our 2 divisions, so let's take a look at last week's games to see how our teams got here. Winber had a triple header last week. They shut out West Green in their first match 13-0, meaning at 1-9 for the season, West Green just missed out on playoffs. Dylan led the game on Sova with 21 kills and only 2 deaths, giving him a KD of over 10. Their second game against Richland was much closer, but in the end, Winber won again 13-8. This loss put Richland at 2-5 in 7th place for the season. Mr. Gary led the team on Jet with 6 first bloods, and at 31-12, finished the game with a KD over 2. Their last matchup had them take the victory against Boyertown 13-2. Also at 2-5, Boyertown ends in 8th place after round differential, just barely making it into the top 8 spot for playoffs. Once again, it was Mr. Gary who led the team, this time on Chamber. Ending with 21 kills and only 7 deaths, that put Mr. Gary at a 3 KD for this game. Those 3 wins put Winber in 2nd place at 6-1 for the season. That wasn't Boyertown's only game this week. Boyertown lost to Penn Trafford 13-0. This win was an important one for seeding, putting Penn Trafford in 6th place at 3-4 for the season. QRTR and Sky had a phenomenal game, going 22-4 with 4 assists. That's a 5.5 KDA. And with a 49% headshot percentage from QRTR coming off of a 13-0 win, Penn Trafford might not be the team you want to face in the first round of playoffs. Bishop Guilfoyle versus Franklin Regional was a close game, going 13-11 in another extremely important matchup for seeding. Franklin Regional ended up on top, making them 5-2 for the season and leaving Bishop Guilfoyle 4-3, making this game the difference between that 3rd and 5th spot on the leaderboard. Pre-JKS on Clove for Bishop Guilfoyle ended the game going 34-20 with 7 assists, but it was Cresticle from Franklin Regional on Gecko who brought the game home for the team with 6 first bloods and 11 assists, going 23-18. Greater Altoona CTC beat Forest Hills last week 13-1, remaining undefeated at 7-0 for the season. At 5-2 in 4th place, Forest Hills will still be moving on to playoffs. Skip on Reyna for Forest Hills ended the game with 7 first bloods and went 30-18. But it was Bane on Reyna that went 22-20 with 9 assists that led CTC to victory. Richland High School beat Blacklick Valley 13-5, meaning Richland's still undefeated in 2nd place. That puts Blacklick in 7th at 3-3, meaning they'll still move on to playoffs. Anti-Glitch on Yoru pulled out some fun tech, leading Richland to victory with 21-10 and 7 assists. Greater Altoona CTC versus Albert Gallatin was another important game for seeding, but Greater Altoona came up on top 13-2, meaning they're 4-2 for the season in 3rd place, and Albert Gallatin is 5th with 3-3. It was Stauffer with 6 assists as Cypher going 22-5 who led the team to victory. Franklin Regional versus Greater Johnstown went 13-4, meaning Franklin Regional is still undefeated for the season in 1st place. Greater Johnstown 4-3 for the season.
And we're back from that break, still here at the TEC High School Series, here for our week number 1 of our Valorant playoffs. 1 series done and 1 more to get done. We're sticking with a 4 and 5 seed matchup, but Hot Sauce, we're hopping on down to Division 2.
Down to Division 2 we go, back on Bind, so hopefully we'll get to see some Raze action here, as we do love Raze, at least over here we do, but excuse me. Bind is a map that I love. I really do like Bind. I know it's one of the oldest maps there is, so not as many people may like it, but I like the quick transitions, the portals. It's just something a little bit different than a lot of the other maps have. So I typically enjoy Bind. We do see a lot of Jets and Rays, which we have. Soul of Hope's going to be on Neon here, though, which is a little bit surprising.
And Neon, my personal favorite agent, even though hasn't got much love in the buff area in recent patches, but I will say it can make you go fast. If you like going fast, if you like Raze, well, Neon it does that for somewhat of the entire team as well. But a lot different compositions on both these two sides. Again, as a reminder, this is only a best of one. Winner of this one will move on to the semifinals, one step away from the grand finals in person on May 19th, which, by the way, if you guys haven't booked your tickets, you better get there because me and Hot Sauce are going to be there. And if that isn't enough, well, the teams, the grand finals are going to be there too.
Yeah, it's always a ton of fun. I even recommend, teams or students or players who may not make it to that championship to still show up and experience the atmosphere because it's a lot of fun to have these LAN events in person. And, maybe you can come on and cheer on some of your other favorite players or your favorite casters even. But Llama and I would certainly love to see everybody there yet again. We are going to get into this one. As Llama said, a best of one. Greater Johnstown taking on Hollidaysburg here. 35 seconds on the pre-round timer. The pistol round is crucial as always, no matter the half or the side here as we look to get things kicked off.
Excited. This one is going to be a good one. Of course, Hollidaysburg, they didn't get to pick the map, but they got to pick which side they wanted to start on. They want to start here on the defense, and I'm specifically looking at Ape. If you can get this chamber pick going, especially getting that tour to force early, those rounds can go your way. But as we talked about for Greater Johnstown, they've got the Neon, they've got the Jet, they've got so many abilities to go fast, and then they also have the Sage Wall for that very nice plant on the A site.
Plenty of utility to be used in their favor. Right now, the pressure looks to mount toward A. They have 3 stacked here at the moment. And with this utility, we'll slow that push down just a little bit. We see Jet lurking on the other side. Felon popping out shots with the Sheriff, taking a lot of damage. The spray from the Frenzy, but Tempest will be the first to find a pick. Rocksteady tucked in lamps. Tempest down to 25 as well. Viper way back there, but I don't think maybe going for the flank, but just holding the rotation.
To see if they walk on through, like you said. Low HP-ish bars here from the Greater Johnstown side as they try to keep on pushing up. Again, they have time. They got 60 seconds. They didn't burn too much of it on that first initial duel. But don't want to go really too far in towards this crossfire. Again, on this pistol round, you don't have the most. Rocky is going to get the nice little shoulder jump peek, gathering some information, relaying that to the team. And the Viper also on the other side of the field is stepping a little bit forward into the long. This could be the opening that Greater Johnstown needs to go the other way. The Frenzy pickup from Rocksteady as well. And both teams rotating over. Broadside has done a good enough job to get the first pick and get themselves out safely.
Yeah, neither of these teams really got to meet in the regular season, and they really had, I think their losses came from the same teams like Franklin Regional and Greater Altoona. So, again, both of these teams very evenly matched at the moment. Progress still coming toward that A side, but Ape up top with a headhunter. They still haven't looked to the right. Trippett will finally take him out. Rocksteady. Rock on down, Trippett on the trade, still in a 3v2. Not enough time to find the plan, and honestly, you really don't even want to save in that situation. You're better off going in and forcing that death, getting those extra funds.
Getting the funds, getting that little bit of extra ult orb as well does help. But nonetheless, first round going over towards Hollidaysburg, playing that defensive side really well. And I love their ability to not bite. They just kept their hold. They said, okay, if you want to push down to one of these sites, you can do it. And Broadside was really huge in that round to get that pick, get back to safety, and then also was the Viper. Had that wall up, had that ability to just stop them in their tracks. We've got the next round going, though, and Tempest has got a nice little shotgun in their back pocket. Probably one of the only forces, but guess who else has got a shotgun? It's Ape. The judge is in session, and the Gatling bangs down. Not 1, but 2, but 3. The headshots there to follow, and the teleport out to safety.
One enemy remaining.
He said he will be the judge and the jury, knocking down the triple, and then, of course, teleporting to safety. Broadside tucked into the corner, finds an easy pick on the Trippett here as well. 2 rounds in the bag, and typically that's expected of that second round. So here comes that important round that we often talk about for Hollidaysburg.
Third round going to be huge here for Greater Johnstown to take the victory here, and they did invest a little bit of funds into that previous round, but we'll have to see what the buyout looks like here going into this third one. Again, if Hollidaysburg able to win this third one, they might be able to just lock it in here, build up a couple rounds in a row, especially on this defensive side. It could be huge. But yeah, for Greater Johnstown, it's not the most shields in the world. They got some rifles here to play, but we'll have to see how they work with some of those one-shot potentials.
And right now, all of that action into the showers here of a early pressure through mid, though. Clove on a huge flank opportunity here from behind. The spray through the wall will tag a little bit of damage toward but Chroma with a two-piece from behind. Felon will finally get one. Rock steady on the trade. They realize that flank came in from behind. Tempest will finally get Chroma, but a plethora of damage had already been done. Broadside here as well has spotted Sage. The information comes out. The team pushes together, and Ape absolutely devastating here today. He's hitting all the headshots.
I mean, that's what you want as the chamber, right? You got the headhunter, but you've also got the sheriff that can really do some damage. You mentioned that flank. It was absolutely pivotal in that round because not only, sure, you get a couple of picks, but the bigger thing is you get the spike down out in the open. It forces that rotation back from Greater Johnstown, and they can't grab that spike in time. The third round going Hollidaysburg's way, huge to destroy the economy on the other side. It is still going to be a couple of shields, a couple of guns here and there, but they don't have any ultimates to work with or anything to try and build this back. But they've got Ape on the other side who's got two crisp and clean headshots.
Who is this student? Absolutely popping off at the moment. Love to know the rank there. Beautiful crosshair placement. We will see Tempest come in and take down Broadside. Not a lot of health left there for Broadside. Tempest working that judge to its maximum potential in the close range, but from behind, Chroma finds not one, not two, but the triple kill. An absolutely huge round here for Hollidaysburg is not only they win the bonus, but they continue to pressure forward 4-0. A phenomenal start here for Hollidaysburg, who actually happens to be that slightly lower seed.
Ended up with a little bit worse record in the regular season, but as we've talked about all regular season long, it doesn't matter about the regular season. The postseason is now where it matters most, and especially with this being only a best of one, not the start that Greater Johnstown want. They're going to have another kind of half by not deciding to go for the save. The problem, however, is on the other side of the field, Hollidaysburg, you look at the ultimates that have been building up. It is going to be the Tour de Force popped in round number 5. Because their chamber and their clove are the two that have really been stepping up. We'll have to see how this Hookah defend goes through.
Yeah, right now the opposition looking to pressure it through Hookah. Jet falling back, looking for that flank that has come in so many rounds, but it's kind of interesting. Hollidaysburg opting to not flank here, mixing up the strategy. We talked about the ebb and flow of these games and how important it is to kind of keep your opponents guessing. Felon, though, already through lamps. Here's the footsteps. Caught with a knife out. Felon will collect on Ape. Chroma got one in the trade, but Felon, the 2K. Chroma pops back up with the ult. Now a triple. Felon looking for the quadra and gets it. On the hunt for the ace. 2 left. Potentially could find a 6-man ace. 5 has been caught. Rock steady. Falls to the wayside. I believe it's Broadside now. From behind, Felon maybe having a little bit of an idea. On the hunt, the 6K ace here in a playoff round, and there it is! Felon absolutely playing lights out.
I mean, I can't believe we get to witness it. Absolutely beautiful. You talk about the target priority as well. It's not just the 6 in a row. You take down the chamber first. That's the tour de force out of the hands. The Clove ult is forced next. And the absolute crosshair placement was beautiful. A round with confidence. You really feel like Greater Johnstown needed. They have to keep this going, though, as the economy still not 100%. They really need to win this round right here.
Yeah, Ape, Chroma both at 7. Quick Felon had 7 as well, and they need to continue to kind of string these wins in succession. Broadside tucked into the corner, has the intel there, the jump, the peek with the knife. Broadside, a 2K, popping heads and getting bread. Broadside will back off to safety. The 2-player advantage now in their favor. A rotation coming in, but Clove tucked into a great position here, Llama.
Oh, the Clove could catch absolutely everybody. Looks like they're going to avoid the Clove positioning for right now and rotate through showers where Ape is waiting. 1, maybe a second. And no, it's the battle back, at least from Greater Johnstown. They burned down some of their time. And unfortunately for them, they'll have no ultimates to fight back for at the end of this round. feel like Broadside doing such a good job, and now Rocksteady being steady here with the aim. Drops down through. We'll get stunned up here for just a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Trapped again as the flank comes on through. The teamwork and coordination from these players have been absolutely on point. And does Rocksteady
One enemy remaining.
sees the angle, sees it through the wall. And now Chroma from behind. Soul of Hope trying to be hopeful for the team, but only one dropped as Holidaysburg get onto 5.
Yeah, that was Rocksteady actually blast packing in to find that final kill as well. And I love Rocksteady, but where's Bebop at? I'd like to see Bebop out here as well. I don't know if there's any Ninja Turtle fans out there, but nonetheless, 5-1, a phenomenal start for this number 5th seed Holidaysburg here. We saw some great life breathed into Greater Johnstown coming off of that 6K ace from Felon. Unfortunately, they weren't able to carry that momentum forward and take the next round as well. And now they find themselves back in an economic bind. You know, I think a couple rifles, some shotties, and an SMG.
They're kind of going for more of these half buys after half buy, never really committing towards that full save round to reset the economy. I gotta say though, Broadside time and time again has just been the player to step up, got 2 picks in that last round, and then stayed alive. That was the most important thing right now. It's the high ground control with the long range weaponry as well. Ape is gonna put the pressure down, the headshot there first. Absolutely huge. Get some shots through the wall. Rocksteady being steady, and the flank once again from the Clove. The collapsing plays here. The defense on their communication as a flawless round falls their way.
I mean, Ape's crosshair placement is absolutely phenomenal today. And every setting and every angle that we've seen him approach, Ape has near perfect crosshair placement at 11 and 3. It certainly shines through here as well. And Ape has also been mixing up the strategies here. We see him on B side a couple times, then back to A, now over here at B as well. So really keeping the other team guessing as to where they want to push. Right now, that push seems to be happening outside of B.
See if that push does go through B. Once again, here for Greater Johnstown. It's not full Vandals or anything. They're going to have a couple of Guardians. They're going to have that shotgun as well. They've got 3 ultimates. They've got the Blade Storm. Maybe if they can use the pressure on in. But it's again Broadside surviving, getting a pick, and then getting back to safety. The round already in a 5v2. And look at Chroma again. Every single time they have space, they just walk on in. I don't even know if the flank is necessary. As Broadside and Rocky clean it up.
I mean, they got those 4 in a row. We saw Greater Johnstown battle back with 1, but now already on another 3-round run. They continue to string these together. 12 and 3 for Ape up there as well. Rocksteady and Broadside both have ults and ready to use 4 ults on the other side of thing as well for Greater Johnstown. So they need to make sure they utilize this. Felon doesn't have to buy here, could certainly pop the blades as well. So I'd like to see at least 2 of these ults come out here from Greater Johnstown.
Love to see the Nightfall specifically. If you can combine that with the Blade Storm, it can start things off huge. Ape directly teleporting out of that utility, getting themselves back to safety. And I like this smoke play. It's immediately going in the Blades. You make some noise towards B, you pressure in towards A, but the Blade Storm is shut down immediately. Some stuns going in and on through. The metal being held here to try and do some extra damage to those health bars with that big 90 decay that we were talking about. Please, devs, if you're listening, go for the nerf. But man, Ian will see if they can nerf the opposing team by just taking some kills. Headshot is there. How about a second? Already on a 3K after shutting down the Blade Storm. Oh, it's the KO to bring back this round into a 3v2. Chroma, the operator from No Man's Land, and Ape. Full teamwork, man. This squad, hot sauce, just showing they've got communication skills.
Yeah, you know, I don't think we've got to catch many of their games throughout the regular season, and I'm kind of sad about it. Holidaysburg, I don't even know how they're a 3-3 team. They are playing so well together. You know, as we like to say, a well-oiled machine firing on all cylinders, basically. But from the crosshair placement to the pincer plays to swinging together to finding the trades and the early picks, Holidaysburg really playing absolutely how they would want to in this first week of playoffs.
Love to see it. Like we said, only a best-of-1 elimination match here. For Greater Johnstown, I would love to see them go into some of these save rounds. They are getting the loss bonuses, but it's a little bit more broken buys. They're having some light shields, not, full vandals as usually most people prefer. But right now, we'll just have to see those ultimates. They used the Blade Storm last time. They're holding on to 2 really big site retake ultimates, along with that res. And if you can res at a point where it can turn the round, maybe not where it's one of those 1v5s, but it really can change it up. I'd also love to see them again. There's a perfect Sage wall play. If you get to A, if you get that plant down, it helps you protect so much. But again, this operator's putting in pressure. The operator putting it into the hearts, but doesn't get a double as the plant goes down.
Yeah, it kind of peaked a little bit before that animation had finished. And I like this quick rotation from Greater Johnstown to go back to A when they heard that portal, but they still have to deal with Ape. And now Ryan, who's been cooking it up in these last 2 rounds. A nice 2K. Soul of Hope on that Neon will extinguish the flame that has been Ape. Now on a 3v1. The Diffuse coming in, but Ion with the triple kill. Looks to turn and burn. They look for the weapons. Plenty of time to find the Diffusal. And a commanding lead here for Holidaysburg.
Feels good lead. They're up to 9 at least for the half with 2 rounds left to go. Now, of course, this is a little bit more expected. It's not super surprising. We see often on Byte, sometimes going 10-2, sometimes 9-3, sometimes even 8-4. But it is possible for Greater Johnstown to battle it back, but they really need to win these next 2 rounds. If you lose these next 2 and you give over the pistol, the series could be over just like that. It's going to be another kind of half broken by here. They've got a player on an SMG, but they've got 3 ultimates still. And again, I'm hoping that they either use the Nightfall or that Rolling Thunder to take site control here in this round.
Yeah, and there's a lot of teams that have a lot of talent on them. I think one of the biggest things that haunt these teams is they don't often save or buy together. And we find that they are in these economic troubles where they don't have these full rifle buys. But meanwhile, on the push to be here, they find a trade apiece. Ape with the Tour de Force, bringing down the Force and the house from behind the flick. The 180 not there. Shots are ringing out, but Trippin wishes they could have that one back. Maybe the nerves, the anxiety getting the best of them there. Ape will teleport back to safety, and now the player advantage in their favor, 4-2.
Trying to decide where they want to go in this site. Again, it is still a 4v2, but there's 1 shot left in the Tour de Force. Holding on to the shower's control and probably going to hear that trampling coming on through. Finally, the slow walk comes on in. Greater Johnstown, like we said, around that they need. The final bullet from the Tour de Force does find its marker. It is going to be Vandal in the hands, but that's the spike. With 40 seconds left to go, 22 HP for Ape. They are pushing the issue. They might not be able to get one more of their ultimate here in this round.
30 seconds
Could shut down the round, and that's just what you want. End it off as cleanly as possible for peace and the headshot to finish it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Ape is down here on this D2 team, and I would be highly surprised if we don't see him on Division 1 next season. What a plethora of talent. I mean, the whole crew, Rocksteady, Broadside, everybody playing very well. 9-4, 8-3, you can see there, but 18-4 Chamber. Just absolutely popping off. And what's going on here, Llama? A little op fun, a little opportunity for everyone.
I mean, they got some extra money, so I like to see it. Drop some operators, put the pressure on in, and I would have loved to see a 5-operator play and have some fun here in playoffs. We got the Viper Spit, though. That's immediately going to shut down the Hookah Walk here, and Broadside, time and time again, like we've said, has been able to shut down this B site, not let them in, and let those clutch factors just apply themselves on all the other sides of the map. It is going to be the teleporter taken. Ellen is just waiting and just hits the flick through the smoke. The headshot is there. The battle back is 2 for 2. Unfortunately, it is going to be that Brim ult just no longer going to be there. I hate to see it. We'll have to see, though, if they could put the pressure on in with these remaining 2 ultimates. That res, actually, if they could res, they could get that ultimate back online. But they have to go quick here because the rotation is already coming through.
Yeah, Ion in the spawn, able to find Trippin here as well. Philly, the run and gun, the battle Sage will rattle his cage. The spike will go down. Ape finds the trade now on a 2v1 Neon. The Soul of Hope pops the ult, but the hope has been extinguished. A solid first half for Holidaysburg as they look to end this one in a dominating fashion.
They really do. It's going to be 11-1 for them. One more round we talked about. If you take this pistol, could be already over after that.
Switching
Give him
sides.
credit where credit is due. It's not only Ape that has just been popping off a 20 bomb already, but it's been the whole entire team that they've been helping each other out. That Viper's Pit, I mean, as much as you hit that spray through the smoke, which was absolutely dirty, by the way, it's just the trades back. You always see they're playing together, they're buying together, and now it is down to the greater Johnstown defense. They have to play pretty much perfect from here on out.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that, you know, obviously Ape is popping off, but the whole team, the team communication, they're swinging together, making sure that if they don't get that pick, they at least get that trade and sometimes more. So again, Hollidaysburg is the epitome, is perfect for what you would want in teamwork at the moment, but they still have to close it out. It's not over until it's over. If they can win this pistol round, though, it should really dictate the pace. Solo Hope's going to find the first one on Rocksteady. The swing from Ape, the headhunter, and Ape does it yet again. Sprays coming through. The run and gun not working in the favor of Philly this time, and Ape continues to collect heads.
Spike planted.
iPid needs to make sure they relax this down, waiting for the reinforcements. This is the timing. The double headshot from Felon will put it into a 3v2. How about a triple? Oh, we're popping heads here. The box cannot save you this time, and playing as a team, the 4-piece and possibly the series savior.
He may just be a felon because that was a crime he just committed right there. Absolutely insane with that sheriff popping off. Felon bringing it back, and again, a round that they desperately need to win. It's almost do or die at this point, and that pistol round really would have dictated it, not allowing them to be able to buy here in this round. We do see on the other side of things, Hollidaysburg wanting to potentially force into this, to scrap into this. So if Greater Johnstown can win this round, they could potentially find themselves winning a couple more, maybe making things a little bit closer.
Love to see that. I know we both love some more Valorant. Would love to see some more rounds, and would love to see, you know, this actually go the distance and maybe even go towards that overtime. We'll have to see. For Felon, once again, only has the Sheriff playing on a possible 2v5, but has to wait for those reinforcements. Doesn't even matter. Can't pick up the weaponry, but it's going to be the defense here, just playing good together. Tempest with the shotgun. The in and out of the smoke, and the shotgun putting in work. And now the cavalry is here. 3v1, and the standoff here. The Sheriff waiting for it. That's the headshots in back-to-back rounds.
Yeah, Felon absolutely popping off here in these first couple rounds, and hopefully this is the confidence booster that they need. Hopefully they can shift the momentum a little bit. We know it's a very defensive side of map, but getting one round is really, really tough. Now, we've seen crazy comebacks, both at this level and the professional level of 11-1. So, you know, you tell yourself, if they can do it, certainly we can too. But let's not worry about that. Let's just take it one round at a time. Let's continue to play the way that we're playing here in this second half, because right now, it's working.
Absolutely is. If you can hold on to this momentum, especially in this round, you talked about it. You actually kind of broke the bye because they forced into that previous round. Now you have an opportunity to shut things down even more. This time, the Jet will be lying in wait on the A site, one away from that Blade Storm. They could step out here into showers, possibly grab that ultimate orb, but that rotation is going to have to be made quick. As soon as you hear it, Tempest could be huge. The shotgun again. We saw it in the last round. They're just waiting for those reinforcements to pressure in, but Abe, the headhunter, is so beautiful. Takes down one. The second is there too. They've got sight control. 5v3 from behind. Make it a 5v2. And it might just have to be the Felon doing it again, but no. 5v1.
Yeah, Chroma finally extinguishing that flame that has been Felon here in the second half. Trip rotating around toward Long B, time ticking away, and I think Broadside heard the audio cue here as well. Has the judge up close and personal, popping heads, getting bread, and just like that, 12-3, Hollidaysburg now sitting at match point. What a statement they have made here today in Division 2.
It's been an absolute statement. You talk about being the lower seed, coming in, getting to pick your side. You say let's start on defense and rack up 11 out of the 12 rounds. Could be it right here, but it's going to be the force on up. Greater Johnstown realizes they need to win these rounds. They do have the Blade Storm, but they're going to be battling into the tour de force on the other side. I am ready to see us go more rounds.
I am ready for more rounds as well, but Hollidaysburg certainly most likely wanting to close this out here. Philly lurking in the corner. Felon, though, with the blades, finds not only one, but two. Ape, though, has the Tour de Force, and the Force has been brought. The spray from the Ares, not enough, as Ian will help out Ape here in a time of need. Tempest from behind, feeling lucky with the Bucky, but Ape with a trade back. The Tour de Force still putting in work. Broadside finds one more. Soul of Hope tucked into the corner. The plant going down. The spray is there. The Tour de Force misses. Now in a 1v1, Soul has an opportunity with the Spectre, the up-close advantage. And I thought Hollidaysburg about to close it out. The Soul of Hope brings the hope and keeps Greater Johnstown alive.
It was knife's edge there, man. One single shot could have ended the series. But we go again, 12-4. A couple of rounds here, starting on this defensive side for Greater Johnstown. They have to keep playing like that, and Felon will not have the Blade Storm here. Almost a 20 bomb for them. They have been absolutely outperforming and stepping up here in this playoffs. Now, what do you got here, Felon? There's so many players on this first swing. You got the information, you don't take any damage, but you don't have the abilities to get out because you were caught with that knife. We'll see if you can still defend this B site, as it looks like it's going to be Hollidaysburg rushing in here.
Yeah, a lot of noise have been made. I think they heard a couple portals, so they actually teleport the other direction. Only one tucked on the A site here as well. And Sage, with that Spectre, has to be careful. Trigger discipline, incredibly important, but swings a hair too early. Rocksteady will send him packing. Tempest caught lacking here by Chroma, and Showers as well. Felon up top. He's had the 6K ace, but unfortunately will be knocked to the wayside. Two members remaining. They don't check the angles, and it's Broadside who will broadside the competition. 13-4. Hollidaysburg, the lower seed, coming out on top here today on Bind.
Reserve victors, they staked their claim on the defensive side, and they were able to get the job done. The entirety of the team, like we talked about, the macro of playing together, buying together, everything was working out for them. But man, I'm a Felon. How about them on the jet? They don't get to the 20 bomb, but really were helping out the team in some of those later rounds too.
Yeah, I mean, you got a 6K ace in playoffs. I mean, clip it and ship it. Hold on to it. That, as we often say, check the socials. You're going to see that in a top 5 play this week. I guarantee it. A phenomenal performance by Felon, and the whole crew really tried to hold it together. Unfortunately, Hollidaysburg just came to play today. The teamwork was absolutely unmatched. Ape 26-7-2 and 5 first bloods as Chamber, collecting 3 plants as well. So Hollidaysburg, they may have been the lower seed today, but they certainly played like a #1 seed here today, Llama.
Definitely did, and obviously they'll get to keep on moving on in the playoffs. And speaking of that #1 seed, they await the winner of Franklin Regional and West Branch. Even though you're the 4 seed, it's gonna be a tough pathway on through. The good news is we've got some more action next week with the Valorant going on. Best of 3s, I do believe, will be exciting to lock in those positions for the grand finals. And like we said, May 19th, if you don't already have it circled, underlined, highlighted, whatever you need to put it on your calendar, you better get it there very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget to follow the socials. As we mentioned, it'll help you stay up to date. You get to see those top 5 plays. You might see yourself or one of your children on there as well. So don't forget to follow the socials. We'll be back here tomorrow for the playoffs for Rocket League around 2:45 Eastern as well. Unfortunately, that is all the Valorant for us today. We certainly hope you guys had as much fun as we did today. I want to take a quick second to thank everybody behind the scenes at TEC. Of course, Man for always doing a phenomenal job. And then all of you at home supporting the teachers, the parents, the students. We always like to thank you as well. Without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. So thank you for all your continued support. We look to see you back here tomorrow around the same time. Everybody take care and have a wonderful evening.